Hello, friends. This is E. Giuliano, and it is the final day of February 2022. It is the 28th of February. Wow. So we have monthly charts, weekly charts to look at. This is the weekly roundup. And I think that this is a great opportunity to get a nice overview of the market. It helps, I'm noticing, to get a nice sentiment of what's going on, a general picture of the flow of the market for looking at it on a daily chart and lower time frames as well. The weekly price chart seems to help, and across different markets within the crypto space helps to also give a sense of what's going on in the bigger picture. And then the news efforts seem to fall into place around the right times. I'm here to share the screen. We're going to look at a bunch of price charts, starting with Bitcoin price chart. Wow, we're going to get right into it. Now, you want to look more so in the weekly time frames here. What are we looking at? I want to zoom in here. We know what's been going on. I want to recognize the Ichimoku cloud. I want to recognize, it's been a couple of weeks actually. I didn't do one last week. So welcome back. If you're here and you're enjoying these weekly roundups, that's great. We're going to keep them going because like I said, I think it's a good way to find sentiment and see what's going on. So we had some big candle action that prior week, and then this past week also big dump, but also it's more so indecision, uncertainty. Interesting action. Interesting to see that we are within the bigger cloud picture. We have opportunity for chop, and now we're going to see what happens within here. This candle, what is it going to look at? This week was the first day of this candle. Is there going to be some wick down? Is there going to be some wick up? It will be quite fascinating to see as this unfolds. How long will this current, let's call it, movement, wave oscillation? I get the sense that that's what's going to be, either that, or it's a fall below and everything is on a tank level, or it's, get above, stay above, flirt with the 20-week moving average, get out of there eventually. And most likely, if it's culminating a bigger move of a bigger picture, then it's just a fast move up and out when that happens. So as we look at this picture, this bigger picture, what can we say? The momentum is winding towards the positive side. So can that continue? Will there be a couple of weeks of bigger down momentum, but overall the trajectory will be cleaning up this big down move and moving towards transitioning to the next up move? That is the sense of what's happening overall. Great picture of the cloud here. This is where the action is for the next coming weeks, is my sense. And I think, even into March is here, into April is here, and into May is here. So this is going to be some interesting cloud area as maybe the price will find its way above. Maybe it'll be chopping low here in April, May at this lower end, but always, you see this 34, 30, sorry, yeah, back here it's like more 34, 34 and a half, but 35, 36 levels here by May. And I think, yeah, looking forward to see what this is going to unfold and look like. So stick around with me for more. Nice touch of the downtrending channel here. And let's see what happens. Wow. Yeah, after the breakout to break up, back down. Okay, that's BTC. That's an interesting price chart and looking lovely. And I think that sets the stage for all of the other altcoins, which we're looking at altcoins against BTC in the price chart in those markets. And I think that helps also to get a sentiment and a sense of whether you want to be, you know, altcoin or Bitcoin heavy or whatever, or just in your thoughts, like just to look. For me, this is not necessarily about trading anything specific or investing in anything specific. None of this is financial advice. It's a market overview, and that way it'll help you to know and do what you feel like and think that is best for you in the crypto space. So yeah, oh, and we didn't look at the monthly. Should we look at the monthly? Yeah, we probably should. I think looking at the monthly price charts will be interesting. I mean, but it's not closed, so anything can happen, right? Anything can happen. But let's just briefly view a monthly, and there it is. Yeah, I think closing around here, closing at around this price today will be likely, and it even has some room to go if it's that's 37,000. So, and currently price is just above 38. So, you know, it's got some room to go before the 20-month moving average. And I do think March could be a green month. I mean, 4 red months in a row is quite the move. And yeah, I could see a sideways green month here for sure. Interesting. All right, well, that's not a prediction, but there you go. Okay, next. We're looking at the Kmd price chart, as you saw. When we look at Kmd price chart, what do we see? We see that the price actually had some intra-week action to the upside in the past 2 weeks before. You know, we had the lows that were really setting in here and down down in the mid 1100 levels, lower, yeah, mid 1100 satoshis. Nice green candle to the upside to the 20-week moving average. Okay, and then currently this past week here of February 21 week, move all the way up to this downtrending resistance in the intra-week play, all the way up towards the top end of the Bollinger Band, but quite a weak candle on a body level. Couldn't even hold this, this green support resistance line. So it's continually resistance here, and that's pretty key. But here we go, narrowing and flattening of Bollinger Band is coming on a weekly. So that's about it. This line is nothing in any sense, okay? But on a bigger scale here, there are some things playing out where, you know, it's either one way or the other. And when we start looking at the Ichimoku cloud, it does offer a little bit of magnetism. If we look at waves, we have a down, we have an up, we have a down. What comes after down is up, unless there's more down first. But again, you saw that yellow line of downtrending resistance. It relates and it correlates 3 previous levels here roughly. So we are coming towards significant zone and region. And actually, this type of movement here up to the Ichimoku cloud and rejection fits a nice triangulation starting from here, actually, back in August of 2020. If you want to look at a bigger level, I'm not sure if that's exactly the play, but it definitely could triangulate with A, B, C, D, and E. So we're going to know very soon what happens after the price action after this downtrending resistance is broken. Because I mean, let's face it, how much longer can it go before it reaches zero if it doesn't break this downtrending resistance? So it will, but is it going to be weak like this, or is it going to break these highs, or at least match these highs somehow and reach, you know, into this, see this resistance here we're starting, and this could be the B to D trend line. In fact, if you have an A wave down, a B here, a C here, a D here, an E here. Now that's getting a little too speculative at this point. But we're looking for something like this. I don't know exact time frame, but again, a lot of figures point towards a mid-year time frame for some movements. But so we'll see. anyway, and then if this is truly a triangle, then it would receive a thrust after a post-triangular thrust. Anyway, okay, that's cool. No big deal. And if we are dealing with some sort of big divergence on the weekly time frame here, which is what it is looking like. I mean, this is divergence, unless you're only allowed to have divergence below the 30 level, then this is price action divergence right here with the RSI. And yeah. Okay, well, that's good enough for me. Anyway, let's see what happens here. Will we have a sustained green move here? Are we just getting started with something a bit bigger? Not, you know, anyway, doesn't matter. Let's not get too much into it. Those are my general thoughts of KMD price action. So let's look for a pop here and towards this year. That would be a good, really good sign for longer term, like we're talking 2024, 2025, that kind of stuff. Because of the shape of what happened with this chart. Like if this does play out that way, it also offers such a beautiful accumulation scenario. Anyway, I just stop, please. We're done for now. Thank you. That's KMD price against BTC. Okay. Here's the pirate chain. Our price action also had some key weeks these past couple of weeks. Wow. I mean, just phenomenal move up to the upside of the Bollinger Bands, and now we're really starting to narrow with the Bollinger Bands here, and trying to stay above the past 2 weeks have been just about trying to stay above the 20-week moving average. Okay, and so that's good. That's been doing a good job. That's 2 weeks of staying above the 20-week moving average and staying above this confluently, this 2600 line, which was previously carved out. Then we did that on most likely on the daily price level, maybe on the weekly, because it's a zone, but I mean it has on a weekly price chart to hold this zone quite so nicely. Most likely is related to a it's most likely related to the daily price chart. But anyway, okay, beautiful stuff here, pirate chain. So we're looking to hold this level, and then the next move is higher. If it doesn't hold that level, okay, I know I'm saying 1 + 1 = 2, grass is green, but that means, yeah, downside. And then we look to hold whatever range this is. Otherwise, then you're in that lower end, which is, down towards this uptrending support line from the previous pulse of price action, market energy. And then we get this sucker right here, and that is meaning, this is something new. This big move up, it's very fast, very big, something new. Bang, we get a corrective move to its counter trend, meaning the next trend is up whenever that happens. That's my guess. And we're narrowing here. We're setting up for something. Maybe we go negative first again. Maybe it has to go sideways a bit. Here again is that same time frame, May, June 2022. Here are some levels to be looking at for pirate chain. If you're looking at this move up, this move down, and the next move up to be connected in the single degree, then we're looking for these levels here. Anyway, that's just the beginning of the thoughts. Let's go to the monthly, and then we'll go back to KMD monthly. Forgot about that. Oh yeah, we get to look at monthly charts today. My heart just got even more happy. Oh yeah, okay, so what's going on? This is a February monthly price chart. So for pirate chain, this is nice. You tested that monthly 20 average. Maybe you're finding a bottoming here, and maybe next for this, the next month is here, it's March, and then April, and you are getting a chance to relieve yourself of this downtrending energy and to hop over it, and also working on this 20 month moving average. Yeah, I think it's going to relatively stay flat because you only had 1 month of a big move up, but then the rest was down. So we'll see what it looks like. But that's 20 months of price action, and it incorporates this move here. So yeah, at some point, I think there's going to be the crossover, and that's a good sign. So watch your monthly charts on the pirate chain price action. Anyway, so that's good, but it's also below. So yeah, we're not in a ultra bullish mode yet. Okay, next though is that Kmd price chart. We'll take a look from the Bittrex version for the monthly price chart. It deserves all the price data. Oh, right. Okay, I just like, let's remove that and just take a look at the candle action for the month, and then I'll bring that back just for fun. Hope you're enjoying this. If you're watching this, amazing. Okay, so this is not some sort of W formation in the same sense. It is more so like some terminal pattern termination if we are turning up to the upside on a bigger degree, and we're starting to eventually get above these horizontal levels here of 6,000s, and then up to if we're going to make it to the tens of thousands here, above these levels and into the 20s, or well, the teens at least, let's call it. I mean, with the price action, when it goes up, it's fast, and then it takes a long time down. So whatever that might look like, and that sort of thing. But basically, this move up and this move down, it's not a big chop yet. So we're gonna see what happens. How many more months does the price go lower? It's still flirting, like it's not making super big lows compared to the previous lows, but it is lower lows. So next, what happens? How does this finish? Does it all finish even lower and chop around first? Is it really going to just take damage for forever and just fizzle? But here you're in negative territory, so you really, like, you're just going to fizzle down here and just chop here forever. You're never coming back up into these levels. And if you do, okay, let's say you chop up, you come back up and you come down, come back up less and you come down, come back up less, come down. Maybe there's, so what we see on the Litecoin price chart is you do see some strong move up, and then it's many more years and it fizzles. So that's also possible. So we do have those kinds of ideas where, yeah, you might actually end up seeing that big move up, but then you might also end up seeing a fizzle down. We don't know what kind of moves we're going to see against these Bitcoin price charts as well. And also, yeah, we'll see. But at the end of it, there is a pattern that's being played out here. And I do get the sense that there are ways of counting it and finding, I mean, I guess, yeah, anybody could say that. But what I mean is, you saw in that previous pattern, but anyway, that's the monthly price chart. We're not going to get into it too much. You saw on the weekly price chart that there is room for hopium and optimism, and I guess I'm going to just go back to that. This is a little KMD heavy right now, eh? But that's the basic idea. You on the monthly, you're triangulating here. Now, does it mean that you make lower lows here? Because in this one, this C wave would be the lowest of the lows. Maybe it becomes what's called some sort of neutral triangle. That's possible too. Anyway, whatever. We're going to see what happens. Just stick around. It's worth it, in my opinion. All right. Next, let's go over to some other crypto charts. Ooh, BTC is dumping. Okay, so the ADA price chart. All right. Now, this is why I think it's worth it, because we're on the daily. I think it's worth it because how long have we had this box up? Long enough that we bounced off it first and considered still that we would be coming into it. And I don't have the desire to go look back, but even before the break of the 20-week moving average here, this was set, and price is now down in the box. Good stuff. This is looking healthy. this price chart is starting to take more shape. It's let it chop. Maybe it's going to come up here to this Ichimoku cloud level in and around the 3,300 level of Satoshis, match these highs, whatever, and then keep coming down. And that would actually give us a nice ABC pattern where you come down. Wow, we're really thick today. That's from the KMD one. Anyway, you make your B wave here by going first up, down, and then up. You know, you make some sort of B wave, right? And it takes longer than the A wave, and then you're allowed to come back down. Now, do you have to come down all the way here? No, we can make some, maybe this is a good zone to bounce, and maybe you bounce really hard off of that. Maybe that's your ending. I don't know, doesn't matter. Okay, all I'm saying here, let's just narrow you down. This is for all you ADA, if you're interested in ADA price, then just consider this. Look, you'll see with DERO and others, I'm not saying that I get everything right or anything like that. Far from it, far from it. All I'm saying is these are the thoughts to have in mind so that we can have expectations. I'm not saying hold or don't hold, buy or don't buy, sell or don't sell. I ain't saying shit. All I'm saying is if we take a Fibonacci extension tool and go from top to the bottom of this potential A wave, okay, and go to, let's say here as the end of and the beginning of our C wave, end of B wave, beginning of C wave, you know, you get a 61.8, 78.6 correlation with this move, and it brings you down to, you know, let's roughly say 1,000 Satoshis. Let's be fair. Okay, maybe 1,200, maybe you even bounce at the 61.8 and you get a nice 1,400 Satoshis bounce at the top of this type of range here. Top of this range, that's cool. And as a zigzag, that's actually quite bullish. That's actually quite bullish if you can pull that off, I would say, because a zigzag, a zigzag that doesn't even make a 1-to-1, that would be phenomenal. Why do I think it's a zigzag so far is because of the retracement level has been a lot lower. Let's see what that retracement level is. Doing a little bit of weekly Fibonacci on the ADA price chart with you. Thanks so much for being here. I hope it's working for you. What did we get? So what we're doing is top to bottom. Yeah, we got a 38.2 retracement. So that's a weak retracement. We wouldn't want to go more than the 61.8 for it to be a zigzag. Otherwise, it would start to get into flat territory. As for Neo Wave, yeah. So we're gonna work with Neo Wave ideas. I just want to confirm, yeah, fib levels are based on the log scale. It makes a difference. And we're looking at log scales against Bitcoin price chart, Neo Wave type of thinking process, and it's helping. So yeah, we're not expecting it to go straight down yet. We're expecting a bounce here at some point. Maybe it's going to chop here first a little bit, a few weeks, whatever it's going to do around here. For now, we're going to bounce up and then take our further move down and then retrace to the upside after we complete a zigzag is what it looks like it's going to do on a big scale. And if we look at a monthly price chart for fun, that might be exactly what we end up seeing. In this case, we won't see the spike up. So what kind of behavior would we see if we were just looking at a closing price chart? Maybe we would see a move up here and then we would see a move down, or wherever it would end, even if it would, the closing price would still be in this level, and maybe there, whoops, maybe there would have been a wick up here or something like that. Doesn't matter. It would just show a zigzag format. That's the sense that I'm getting. And here on a weekly, we're back. Okay, so on a monthly, yeah, there's the monthly price chart. And there you go. So what's going to happen is probably some chop through some monthly candles here around this level, maybe wicks up, maybe even bodies closing up here, whatever, and then probably down again at some point. But it doesn't have to be far down, right? Relatively to this first move down. We'll see. That's the sense. It doesn't have to happen that way. We're just starting to get a bit bearish on the monthly. Let's see how in terms of MACD histogram and crossover. So let's see how long this lasts. Okay, that's your ADA price chart. Amazing, All right, I hope you're enjoying this. We're going to keep moving on. Then we go back to the weekly and get out of there. Boom. Next, THETA BTC. Tell your friends that it is still moving in the downward channel here that we've got going on. Bouncing at the top level of this box. We've had some good support here, but who knows where it's going to end. That confluences nicely with this price action up here. So yeah, maybe a bouncing coming at some point. We are at the lower end of the Bollinger Bands. I guess, you know, it doesn't always have to be a huge fast dump. It can just slide down. Let's see if we get a bounce towards the upside of the channel here, maybe towards this 20-week moving average, and then see what happens from there. That's the THETA price chart. It looks like it could, you know, get relatively positive momentum, even if it doesn't go into this positive histogram territory, but it's still getting more positive. Looks like we're ready to turn over a little bit, at least to like start going sideways if that's the need, and that's the case. So let's see. That's interesting levels here on THETA. I think these are good levels overall. And maybe people are starting to look more at THETA and ask more about it because they're realizing. So it might get a little bump. We'll see. None of this is financial advice, and yeah, this is a choppy zone just below. So this box, it could be breached, and we could be going lower on this downtrending slope. So yeah, just because it looks like we could bounce up towards the 20-week doesn't mean it has to. It might keep going down. So just pay attention to all that. Okay, that's basically THETA on the weekly. Like I said, though, if we want to look at candles, I mean, these past two red candles have been half decent. So yeah, you know, I don't think it has to necessarily keep going lower. Maybe it can find some stability here along the sideways. Let's see. It tends to move one way or the other. In this case, you know, you'll get a green candle or two up to the upside, or you'll just get more reds down. Let's find out what the THETA price charts. Stick around for that. And let's look at the monthly and get a sense of what is going on. Oh, so in the previous month of February, in fact, let's not have this showing on the monthly. Visibility. I don't care about that. Let's show it on the weeks, just not on the months. That's all. Okay, so on the months with the Bollinger Band, so we had a nice intra-month play right up to the top of the monthly 20-month moving average. Interesting. So I do think, you know, at best you might get another play up to this level. Probably, you know, that would be the most. I don't think it's going to go above it yet. Maybe it'll just bounce around here as it finds this shelf. So you're looking for this horizontal level to play as a shelf. Let's get one of these. Yeah, and let us make it there. And that's basically the idea. So what we're going to do, though, is just keep that on the monthly and see how that holds. Okay, we'll come back next month for some THETA price action. Oh, I'm excited because look, we have some up and we have some down, but this is just getting started. I'm really excited. This looks like a very nice chart. Let's just look. Yeah, at the MACD has already crossed over and has already had 4 negative histogram months. So, well, wait, yeah, because this is still February. So that means, well, considering ADA price, Cardano's price has just begun in this negative territory here. That's interesting. THETA seems to be in a position to clear out. Let's see if it involves bouncing here, or does it need to dump down to this level down here at the lower end of these bars and the upper end of these bars. So that is going to be an interesting zone here. Let us, yeah, let's just add one in here. Let's put it about here. And Let's make it red. All right. Okay, so that's theta on the monthly. I bet it's still showing monthly. That's right. Okay. Interesting. It's a bit dark. Oh, stick to. And this one too will decrease the thickness. There we go. Amazing. So there you have some theta thoughts on the monthly time frame. Looking good. Let's watch it shape up. This could take a while, as often it seems to do with these price action. Okay, so we're done with theta on the price charts. Let's move on. All right, let's look at the ICX. ICX flirting with this lower end of this potential big accumulation zone. I mean, if it's not going lower than this box, what a massive accumulation zone. At this point, you got some Ichimoku cloud above, Bollinger Band 20 week moving average is also above, flirting with the lower end of the Bollinger Band, lower end of all of this price action. So is this a 1, 2, 3 valley move? Is there going to be another valley here and we're going up? Or is it going to be breaking down further below over time? That's going to be a good question. My sentiment is probably a move up. Let's zoom in on this candles. Yeah, who's to say when, but it could be slowing here. We'll see what this looks like as it develops. And this is the lower end of the Bollinger Band. Maybe you get a bounce up to these levels here. Okay, and confluence with that 20-week moving average around the 25, 2,400 Satoshis. Oh, okay, that's ICX on the weekly. On the monthly, yeah, who's to say when does this 4-month downturn end? We'll see the next month. But there's also, if that's the case, then you're making a higher low than previously, so that's good too. So we'll see how this turns around. Not sure what all of this is going to do. Could be just a slowing down for a while. So this could just play out with bounces, and then eventually there will be a bigger bear market for everyone, and we'll see what that looks like. So who knows? But even on this 20-month scenario, you got this. You got these Bollinger Bands narrowing. That's wild. This is the kind of thing that excites me because it's going to take time, but it is narrowed, and so that means a volatility to some direction, whether it's up or down. And here you can't. How much more down can you go from here? Not that much. Here's zero right here. So upside potential is very exciting, especially when we look at previous price action on these charts. Okay, I'm not saying it's going to all-time high, previous all-time highs. I'm just saying that even a level like this here, 9,000, and I mean at that point, I don't see why we wouldn't come back up here. But again, it's possible. Maybe this wick here is enough of a force. And still, though, these are big moves. These are big moves. Let's just play for fun here. And I think what I like about these weekly roundup is it's not just about one chart. Yes, it's cool to look at every single individual chart, and look, 1,100%. That's a good 10x move right there. No, what I'm basically saying is that these charts, as we look at them, it all plays out a scenario. Because if ICX is having this type of thing happen, then there's chance for KMD or other price charts to have their moves. Now, again, it could be like Litecoin gives us a good example of, maybe it's a move up, and then how long does it have to be the next move down? This, look, we're December 2027 down here. Is that the case? These are the BTC price charts, right? So this is a different scenario, and it's hard to say on that level. especially based on these shapes here that we're working with some of these price charts. So which had like big moves up and then long moves down, making lower lows, fully retracing those moves up. That leaves a different vibration, you know, a different energy to this structure. Now, that means if network effects do take off, I think that's what it means, is, you know, these will be signs of network effects, ultimately, is the sense I'm getting. So let's take a look. But until then, for now, there's still a bit of a bit more of a speculatory aspect as well. So let's see how that works. Anyway, this is all fun. This is a monthly price chart. Looks pretty interesting. A lot of accumulation down here potentially. So and you are at the lower end of the ranges here. So that's quite exciting for any participants. You know, you get that feeling possibly of like all or nothing when you're down here. It's like either it's going to zero or you got some moon potentials. Anyway, okay. It also takes time, like we're talking years of who knows what's going to happen here. And also a moon potential could be just, it could be 6 months, 3 months, whatever type of action here. And there's a weekly price chart, 3 months of action and then 3 years of, well, you know the story. Okay, moving on. Now, one of the shining stars is the DERO price chart against BTC. These arrows, that's why these arrows are relatively meaningless a lot of times, because most of the time, let's say all the time, because I mean, yes, it was following, but when it didn't follow, boom, it broke out. That's quite an interesting play. So I guess it was the top of this box that ended up holding. The energy there was towards the release of functionalities for DERO, and it just got very exciting for the public, for the users, for the participants in this market, and they just pushed the price right up 4 weeks in a row, 1 month of just boom, right above the 20-week moving average. Didn't even spend more than a week getting really rejected by it. The next week it just broke right above, and so let's see if it holds now. That's interesting. That was the other case. It was either go down below this building forming Ichimoku cloud and then have to be you know, under it, or hold this region, get above this Ichimoku, and then try and sideways, at least just try and sideways. If so, here's the thought though now. So this tells us really good information. If this whole thing starts to narrow in some sense like this, and the price just moves, it most likely will go higher to a significant degree. If this alone, this move alone, is the correction for this move up here, or even if you want to consider this whole move up here, and this is the correction, then it's going much higher. Now, timing wise, it just doesn't feel like it. Like if we take this fib time extension tool and we go towards the top here, it hasn't even hit 60%, 61. Well, now the price has, but on a down move here. So maybe it will triangulate and do like a triangle. That could be what it does. And in that case, it'll take enough time. You know, you get past 1-to-1, and then you're looking at something a bit more even here in terms of up move and down move relationships. Yeah, that makes sense. So definitely could do that, but either way, this is such a nice strong move from DERO price chart, back above the Ichimoku cloud, bounced off this top level box here. That's quite fascinating, and yeah, that's incredible. So I think I don't have much else to say about that other than let's take a look at the monthly. Wow, what a move. So we were at that 20-month moving average and it just rocketed back up. What a move. This gives it actually a lot of room to go sideways or see what happens. I don't know, maybe is it just ready to keep going? Did it not? That's the other thing. So here's the other the question. Wait, let's go here. Maybe this move down is only relative to this from June, not from all of it beginning in February of 2021. So if we go back to the weekly and say, if we go to the June section and we reach, oh, but that's not nice because you have all this one here and then this here that doesn't really fill the need. Yeah, basically generally the same idea. I don't really have much else to say. I'm just curious, how much did this retrace if we start here and go to the top? Yeah, I mean, you could argue, we could still say, you know, maybe you're in, but this price action with this wick here changes the way you might be able to look at it and count it from a neo wave perspective, Elliott wave. So yeah, but anyway, look, you're getting into some positive territory here on the price momentum. So my sense is I don't think you're going to get anything like this. You're going to get maybe you'll get one of them at best, right? So you might get something like this, but then you're going back into negative territory. But that, I think, in towards that May and June territory could be something. Maybe it's one of the early movers and gets a lot of how do you say a lot of volume and voice around it from others talking about it. We'll see what kind of narratives come out. You know, maybe a privacy narrative is something that comes out and really builds up some market action, some network effects in that way. So yeah, so that was the weekly. Quite interesting. That's the weekly MACD. It has crossed into positive. So yeah, I mean, I don't think we're going to be breaking below the 20-week moving average just yet. I think sideways and up is a bit more of an option. Yeah, does that mean new all-time highs? I mean, we're going to have to see, wait and find out. Interesting, good times. There is also, look, we are not out of the water yet. You know, it could be just a quick move, and then it could still come. It could still come. So, you know, we don't know. We don't know. I just want to recognize that these things are heavily possible. They play out, and yeah, nothing wrong with that. So just watch it and enjoy. Good. Well, participate too if you want, but again, none of this is advice for that. Okay, so we are moving on from the DERO price chart, getting weekly and monthly views. We move over to the TRAC origin trail price chart against BTC. What a wedge, what a wedging we have here. And you know, in the crypto wedges, crypto triangles, they just love to wedge down and hard. So what do we have here? We have this weekly price action from origin trail that really rocketed up, shot back down, and we are really clearing out some of this negative momentum. This is not a bad thing. It will very likely bounce in the next week or two. So March looks like it might have a bounce. I mean, you really got to hope for a bounce around here. And that bounce likely could bring back to like a 2000 level here. Some players might be getting themselves a nice 2x coming up right now. Well, we'll see. Maybe it only bounces to the 1500 and you're only making like a 40–50%, and that's all good. But yeah, it does seem like a very strong level for a bounce. I mean, if ever a bounce was going to come after this down, up, down, up, down, if the next up is coming, this is a good place to look for it. We already saw a bounce from here, so yeah, that looks good. That's in general, in that sense. Now, in terms of the down move, it could, yeah, and it also could, if this is a pure, proper, countable triangle, let's say, where you had your beginning, you had your A down here, your B probably here, your C, let's say probably here, and your D and your, I don't know exactly how. You know, we would look a little bit differently on a monthly, though. It would look like a different pattern. So let's see, how are we on a monthly? It's just a straight line down on a monthly with some wicks, obviously. But yeah, interesting. So 3 reds after 3 greens looks like it could get some intermediate turnaround energy, and or just a bounce right up right away on the next one. Looks reasonable. Looks reasonable. Let's find out. So yeah, that looks pretty good if you're asking me overall. If you're asking me, I'm saying you've got some really good potential to bounce out of here. If this is a proper triangle that's being completed, we could take the longest leg here. Let's call it this leg. Actually, I don't. Well, okay, so that's that. Oh, I had the wrong tool. If you saw that and you knew, I wanted to take it from this leg anyway. Not that it matters that much. We're just looking for rough ideas here. So that move there to this move here. Wow. Are we really saying you could go back all the way up here and maybe you've made a flat pattern? That would be pretty cool. Now, and wow, interesting. Okay. Okay. The way I'm understanding things now, this is something new. This move here is something new. Maybe you could say this is part of it. But it's a move up and it's a move down. Next thing would be a move up. And because this retraced so much, because this, let's call this B wave, this triangle B wave, because it retraced so much, maybe it's a flat pattern that we have on our hands here as a bigger wave, okay? And so that would be like an A, a B, and a C, whatever. These days, maybe I'm just biased and I'm seeing these everywhere, okay? You can reference the Avax Btc price chart for that, actually. Same idea. And we have here, if we were to compare this A leg with the move out, we'd be up towards it like 3,700 Satoshi level. The other thing though is, yes, so the reason it would be some sort of flat idea is because let's say we've retraced it nearly 100%. If we're starting here, and if we started here, we still retraced it. 88.6, there's your good friend, 88.6. 88.6 is a great bounce zone. I am looking really favorably upon this TRAC BTC price chart. Very excited. Let's watch for a bounce. Tell all your friends and keep watching for more. If you're watching this video, hit the like button, make a comment, let me know you're watching, and put any requests or feedback. So there you go. Maybe you're watching in 1.5 or 1.75x speed, and I hope you're enjoying it. So that's the idea here. I know I have a bit of jumping around here, but it's like basically up, down, up. So the next up could be bringing us to a decent level, and that might take a bit of time, right? It might, again, towards this May-June timeframe. That's totally reasonable. And what excited me there when I talked about that is you've got now this Ichimoku cloud here that's building. Okay, we've got this Ichimoku cloud that's building. Oops, let's give it a yellow. So on that note, that would bring the price up above. Let's say even if it didn't go 1-to-1, even if it's less, now you're at a place where the price can potentially come back down and rest on the Ichimoku cloud and maybe go higher. That would be huge. That would be huge. I don't know though. That would mean something new, something next. But for now, look, this is quite fascinating. We also have the energy of the 200-week moving average. If you see it right here, 200-week moving average just starting to build. So that is quite an interesting force there that came into play. I do see these as forces, these lines of moving averages and trend lines and horizontal support resistance lines or zones. Oh, oops, we got rid of the 200 period average. We don't want to do that. They are our forces. They act as a force on the price action. Okay, whether it's just straight through the psychological effect or because on some level, markets and price action take waves in the same type of following the same type of natural law. We might call it whatever term you want to call it when we look at physics and other stuff like that. So these are waves, they're vibrations, they have energy, that kind of idea. And this 200-week moving average, I think, has shown something interesting. Okay, this looks good. So that's the origin trail price chart. So send that. Did we look on a monthly? I think we did. Yeah, 3 in a row. 3 red in a row, finding a nice box. We've also got the 20-month moving average here. Oh, this is big. Okay, 20-month moving average right here. So next month, you want to get above it. So next month is green. It's got to be green. Get above the 20-month moving average. Maybe you stay red and you're a little bit flat and you just hover below the 20-month, but then by April, you're above it. You got to be above it. Otherwise, you're going to continue down further. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I think my sense is you get up. You're getting up pretty soon. Getting back up pretty soon. At least to show some life that there is going to be a bounce. And I think we're moving on. That's pretty cool. Good stuff. Origin trail price chart. What's this going to look like though? That'll be interesting. We'll see. Yeah. Anyway, okay. I'm not going to keep talking about it. Let's just move on. Oh, that was. Let's go to the. I just want to keep it at the weekly, so I can just take quick looks. Yeah, BNB. Okay, this is quite the day, catching up a lot. Got that negative momentum on the BNB, MACD histogram. Oh yeah. Okay, the past couple weeks, what happened? We made our way from this uptrending support region here, this horizontal midway line between the top and bottom levels. Found support there, moved up, but we were under the 20-week moving average. Resistance, bang, back down. Now we are at this uptrending line. We found a little bit of support here at this horizontal level again and moved up, but BNB price, I think it'll be stable, really, even if it breaks down below here, which most likely it will. It'll come towards the lower end of the Bollinger Band, I think, and it'll come to the top end of this Ichimoku cloud. Oops. And then, I mean, it just makes sense. It'll bounce here, and then it'll find its way back up. And then will it get over, or will it still bounce here a bit more? I don't know, but I do get the sense that this is the best trajectory for it overall. Maybe it doesn't make it all the way down there before it goes up. Maybe it goes up first. I don't know, but this is a nice place to rest for the BNB price at some point. All right. We've been saying that, and this is confirming it for me. I mean, why are you going to break down below the 20-week, find it as resistance, get rejected, only to get back above? You might, you've done it here, but it didn't last long. You did it here, and it lasted longer, but it's still, we're in a sideways choppy action, and coming from low to high, probably going back to low. We're at the midway level, okay? So next thing to break is this midway level, and I think from there it'll be a quick move down. Anyway, that's another story. How far down is going to be? Might not even be down towards this level. Might even just be at the top here. Maybe you get some wicks. We will see. That's BNB. And after that, oh, I think higher is right. I think at least for a little while. Next bull run. Let's look at the monthly price chart on BNB. Oh, wow. Yeah. Exciting times. We get to look at monthly on BNB. Now, what's going to happen? My sense here, look at this momentum. We're just going to keep making relatively negative momentum. There's going to be a pop whenever, but you know, overall, what is happening here? Interesting to look at. This stuff just, yeah, it could explode, or it could. We got to watch out for this 20-month moving average. Look how far above it is. Yeah, nice. It'll probably keep coming up and meet the price. We'll see what ends up looking like on the BNB price chart. I mean, it might not touch this 20-month moving average for time. Here's some price action back in the 2019 timeframe, end of 2019 into 2020, where it was playing below. Even into the beginning of 2021, it was at the bottom of the Bollinger Bands on the 20-month price chart. Sorry, the 1-month price chart. There's a 20-month moving average. Bottom of the Bollinger Band, what a rebound, and wow, what a few months here. 3 months of life-changing opportunity. Isn't that incredible? Okay, well, that's some BNB for you. And it is just shelving right here. What a strong price chart. It looks like it's going higher for sure. But beware of distribution patterns that take you lower. I don't want to be bear, okay? I don't want to be bear, okay? I really don't want to be bear, okay? But these are things that I don't want. What is this? What is this? Anyway, let's, I wish, could we flip this? You can just, let's just flip it for now. And we'll go the other way. Okay, there you go. Both options on the table. Let's keep this going for the monthly price chart on Binance, BNB coin. Visibility only on the monthly. Let's see what happens. This one will be our big red. Line red. Oh yeah. Boom. Crazy. All right. Next, thank you, BNB price chart. This weekly action is solid too. All right, let's get out of there. We are maybe halfway, not even. Link BTC. Yeah, broken down below the 200-week moving average, moving into some more negative territory. Not looking solid, looking like it probably go lower unless it can hold. If it can hold here and get it back above this 200-week moving average, now you're going to get this 20-week start to cross the 200-week. You could be on a bear market for Link. This thing could be going back down to those levels we had talked about before. Let's set up some key levels here. I think I want to add this to the array. And let's bring this all the way over. Okay, let's just hit it. So we are going to hit it here. We are here already. So we are going to hit it here. That's a good level to consider. And of course, this one would be a bit low to consider here. So these are the first two levels to consider on the Chainlink price chart. All right, and that's it. I don't really have much else to say on that for the weekly price chart, but unless you can quickly get back above this 200 week and back above the 20, you're crossing. Even if you do get above, even if it does crawl up here, it'll turn over. Okay, so that's the general sense. I'm going to delete this one. There you go. Okay, that's Link BTC on the weekly. On the monthly, yeah, those are some levels for you to look at. The first one, actually, right in between them, it corresponds with the lower end of the Bollinger Bands. There has been a lot of negative momentum, so once this does clear out, then you'll have your bull market again. But I do think these are the levels to look at. Let's look at this ABC action. And where do we start? Let's see. We'd have to do a bit more analysis, but I don't think this is the B. I think the B probably either ends here or here is more likely. Right here. So let's just say, yeah, 61.8 here, 78.6 here. That's bullish overall in terms of correction. I mean, you went from low to high. Now you're correcting. You know, if that's the case, and then you're going to make a next move up, then that's a signal of strength. If you're 61.8, 78.6, and that's cool that these levels, they play with the price levels. Look, I didn't know that it would retrace that much from here. And that's what it does. So 1-to-1 is this level here. And that's heavily possible as well, but that would be less bullish. Okay, so that's it for Chainlink price chart. Yeah, I think this is fascinating, and I wish you well. I hope you stay well out there. Okay, cool. Monthly. Oh yeah, okay, no, we can keep the weekly. Alrighty, that's it for Chainlink against BTC. Let's move into, oh yes, you want to see some XRP, friends that want to see XRP. So this, because we've been looking at Litecoin, there's not much action there. I'd rather show something similar but different. So we have, strong move up there. XRP was interesting with it. It started with its down move first, but anyway, after this big move up, you just get down, lower. You get, okay, this was nice. You had a higher low here, but then you start making lower low, and then it becomes even a lower low than the original low. And now you're fighting this Ichimoku cloud. Can you get above it? Look, there's a 200-week moving average. The best case scenario here for Ripple is to squeeze up above and make it into this zone here where you play with the 200 and the Ichimoku cloud. Even if you don't hold it for sure, at least you're at the beginning of some potential turnaround time where you can eventually get above the 200-week moving average, maybe into 2024, 2025, or whenever it is the next time that something big is going to happen after this next big one. But that would be important. And the reason why I see this potential is because, well, I mean, the news is going to be because of the case, okay? And maybe the chart is just front running the news, right? The chart is, the price action is such a good signal, such a pure signal. It tells us that something is coming. It's most likely going to be the end of the case. I mean, because what it is, we're just looking for what news item seems to get the most crowd behavior moving in the belief of price action going up, confidence of price action going up, marking up the price, all of that. Okay, these Bollinger Bands are squeezing. They're narrowing. Price went from bottom to top and is now holding at the 20-week moving average. If it can hold above here, the next move is higher. As we narrow these Bollinger Bands, I don't know, is it going to be in March, April, May, whatever? Look how narrow this Ichimoku cloud is. There is a strong chance of getting at least to this price level here, which is Okay, the tough part would be if it gets rejected here and keeps going down. That's possible. The other next option is for enough of a bump, and I'm you know, I want everyone to do well. I'm excited for everyone in any way. It would be to find maybe some, let's change this, maybe some resistance by the 200 period average, right? Maybe it would find resistance by the 200 period average. As the 200 period average comes down, maybe that's going to be the case, right? And it is downward sloping. So it's not necessarily going to be bullish. Even if it gets above it, it might get above it and then come back down below it. So yeah, there's that idea. But I think we're also looking for price action to do that. Otherwise, it's going to go down to the lower end and dump even further. And then we're looking to hold these lows. But the sense I'm getting, and based on what news is potentially coming out and all of that, the sense I'm getting overall, well, it's winding up for something. It's winding up for something, and the sense is that it could go up. Maybe that's just because my bias is to the upside, but you know, yeah, of course it could go to the downside. But the sense I'm getting is upside is next, and it's possible. Look, you had a bunch of negative momentum here. It's time for a bit of positive momentum. I see that as being very possible here coming up. So price chart is setting up for something, and we're looking for a move to the upside towards these price levels here, which is around like what, 3,500 Satoshi level, and that would bring you above the cloud and maybe reject by that, whatever. Anyway, cool. It's a zone. We're looking for a move up. These Bollinger Bands are quite narrow though, so it could pop pretty hard. And look for this price level here to be resistance. So, you know, don't be surprised if it gets to the 4,000 level. That's pretty amazing. Let's watch. I think that will be a good sign for everyone. Okay, good luck. And that's a weekly. Let's see on the monthly if it gives us any more information. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, so for the monthly, interestingly, it's been a lot of positive momentum on this histogram. So here's the thing. It came from up high to low, okay, wide Bollinger Bands to now narrowing. In that case, yes, this could be a redistribution and then it keeps going lower, but the likelihood is more that it's narrowing now and will pop to the higher end. That's just a sense I'm getting. So that confirms also, again, the idea of potential to go higher. The only downside is, look, here is already a 3,200. What if the price just goes to the upper end of this narrowing Bollinger Band, okay, which was relating to that Ichimoku cloud out level? It was relating to, here it is, right here, even the 200 period average. So it could go there and then come back down. On the monthly, that might be the 20-month moving average. At that point, it could find support there and boom, like that's a lot of great confluence. Let's see what that happens. But if not, maybe it gets up to here and then keeps going lower and you start making lower lows, or at least challenging these lows here. And that's possible too, but look, on the monthly again, that would be a move up to that 3,200 level here, 3,300 level at the top of the Bollinger Band here, and then back down for support at the 20-month moving average. That would be setting up for a big move in months to come. Now, this is years, okay, 2 years of action right here. So you could have a move up here and then a lot of choppy for a year, 2 years, whatever is going to happen before going up again further. But that just is a good sign overall. We're looking here in this weekly roundup, and in this case, monthly roundup. When we're looking at it like this, then it just giving us a bigger sense of the trajectory. You know, we think about it like inertia and trajectories like that. So the charts and the price action and some of these indicators capture a lot of information for us that we can put together. So let's see what happens. You know, this is we're early times. I haven't been doing these weekly roundups for a long time, so we're gonna get a chance to see how this all plays out over the next year, 2 years, 3 years. Let's see how long we can last. All right, that's a monthly price chart for Ripple. we'll keep a definite eye on this one on the weekly time frame. And yeah, that's Ripple. Okay, moving on, because we are still just rounding the turn. Whew, we are making it to the back straightaway now. The back nine, if we're playing golf. We have a nice support here from Avax against BTC on the weekly, where we might have expected it based on prior price action. And yeah, look for a bounce back up is my sense now, but maybe not for DOT yet. Maybe it's a small bounce up and we just get, I'm not saying a bounce up has to even touch the 20-week moving average yet, but you never know. And with the size of some of these candles, maybe it's just 1 week or two, whatever. We'll see. You had a bounce up just recently, so maybe it fizzles a little bit here, but either way, it is not looking super bullish just yet. However, the good potential sign is that you have cleared out a lot of negative momentum. So, which technically really started here. So in that way, because you have this also playing out, like we are most likely, this is looking very potentially good. If you can hold these lows, you make yourself some really nice, let's make this, make yourself some really nice bullish, convergence. Yeah. So if that's the case, that's okay. You get some bullish convergence. And then now again, we might argue about whether or not, well, we have to watch out what this weekly time frame does, but whether or not you can measure the divergences within the range, or if they have to be outside of the range. If anybody has an answer on that, put that in. I don't. I could look it up, but basically, we're not down below the range or above the range. We're within the range. So do that divergences play out? I don't know. At least this would give you some bullish divergence. Or no, sorry. It's actually a divergence, but it's not of the bullish variety. It would be hidden bullish divergence. Yeah, so okay, fine. I thought I was seeing things on these weekly indicators that are not quite as bullish as I thought. So if we get lower price than this, and this stays higher than this, then we can start talking about some nice bullish divergence on the weekly MACD histogram. But until then, yeah, dot price chart, it's looking all right. You're kind of at the mid-range from the high to low, but there's a good likelihood that it could also still come back down. So we'll see. It's at the lower end of the Bollinger Band though, and the monthly might tell us we're going to get a bounce up higher first, regardless of whether we're going back down or not. And then we'll get a better sense. That's the other thing, is if you get a bounce up, then you can reassess as price action continues playing out. So let's see on the monthly. Yeah, I mean, nothing is even formed here in terms of indicators. And price action, we have had 4 in a row, so you could get some upside, but I don't see this structure being broken to the upside anytime soon. And it looks like, based on lower lows and just the whole rounding structure of it, it looks like it will probably hit these lows here at some point. It just seems like that's what it might do. But having said that, it might chop around here and then find its new move up. That's definitely possible as well. Green is, a move up is probably likely at some point around here. So that makes sense. You got a good bounce here and move up towards this 20-week moving average potentially. Then the point would be to try and break above it. Then you would have these, in fact, in that case, you would have 1, 2, and 3 nice valleys, each higher than the next. That would be bullish, quite bullish. So watch for that to potentially happen as well. Watch for some bounce up and then holding that level. That's very bullish. A bit longer term here. There's a weekly price chart, so that'd be quite nice. Okay. I think that's it for the BTC price chart. Let's move it along to FTM, Phantom Price Chart. Wow, okay, 20-week moving average was rejection, but there is a nice bounce here. However, I do get the sense that we are going to break down below this trend line. Either that or it's going to be one of those times where, yes, this 20-week was broken down. It holds as a resistance level just momentarily, and then we can break back above it. That's possible too, but based on this price action and the fact that this price action is starting to trade back into this price action, I don't see why we're not coming down here. I think 3,000 is in the cards. Let's look for it right there. I think 3,000 is in the cards. I think 3,000 is in the cards for FTM. I mean, it doesn't look like that much further down. And to be fair, I mean, you really want that Ichimoku cloud to hold support, right? You really want that Ichimoku cloud to hold support. Otherwise, you're down below it, and that's not a good sign, because then you have these levels of resistance here, which relate to the fact that the Ichimoku cloud resistance is looming above that energy of resistance. So let's see, I mean, we're going to see what type of momentum needs to be carried out towards the downside, but I think this zone here is totally in play, and your best bet is holding, your best bet is holding this level here, this intermediate level between this price action here, and then getting back above. That's your best bet right at this point, it seems. Let's see what happens. Bottom of the Bollinger Band is here at this lower end right here. So that's my best bet right now. I don't think you have to come down to this level here. I think this level here is your best bet. Bottom Bollinger Band, bounce there. You have your Ichimoku cloud above you. You can climb. That seems fair. That seems like a reasonable trajectory for FTM. And yeah, you're just getting started on this downturn on a monthly. Oh, wow. Look, here's the 20-month moving average. Nice. We've got a 20-month moving average. Top of the Bollinger Band. We're not coming back there anytime soon. I think we're going to come down. So yeah, by the time we get down here, it just depends how fast it'll be. And maybe this is your level and you get your 20-month moving average, which is like the bottom of the Bollinger Band for the 20-week Bollinger Band, or the weekly Bollinger Band. So yeah, so there you go. That's pretty good for FTM, I think. Here's that second level there, bottom Bollinger Band. Okay, done for FTM. And we move to Solana. Solana. It'll be interesting to see this one on a monthly, see what we look like. Ooh, so holding at the bottom of the Bollinger Band. This is going to be interesting. I get the sense that it might bounce up towards this 20-week moving average and then catch some support on the Ichimoku cloud. That would be very nice for the Solana price. Unfortunately, this level got breached and is currently being held as resistance. So if it cannot be breached, well, this Ichimoku cloud is telling us it must be soon. Otherwise, we are going to be below that cloud level, and that will be more daunting. And in that case, this level does become a very, very strong next level. And unfortunately, that is also quite a possibility. And the other unfortunate thing is that it could come up here and still come back down, which in one way is maybe the most likely path. But then again, that's just my sentiment around it, and there's no like hard probability on that. Interesting. Yeah, this is interesting for the life of the Solana chart. We have clearly broken down this uptrend. So how fast are we going to get back above it? I don't know if ever when, but the price action here it can fill this boxy area here, and then go higher when the time is right, possibly. It's at a turning point for sure. It's either up and hang, or up and down, or just straight up down. This, what I mean by straight up down means just straight down, right to the next level. Interesting, very interesting. We'll see how the momentum plays out. On a monthly, wow, yeah. On a monthly, it's looking like down is likely. Just looks like at some point it's going to come touch this 20-month moving average. Is it going to hang out here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months, and that 20-month is just going to keep coming up here? Could be. That could be the trajectory. Yeah, Solana price chart. It's got time. It's got time. That's the thing, is that with this weekly and now monthly roundup, we get a chance to see some timing. We get the chance to get a feel for the timing and for levels. And also it helps to not FOMO. It helps to realize that this whole wick level, wick levels here, that's fine if you're getting in here or whatever. It just gives more range. It's not as tight and stressful. Okay. So that's the monthly on Solana. That's the weekly. We are at a very interesting point with the Solana price chart. So I'm very curious and very interested to see how it's going to play out over the next weeks and months. Okay. Avax Btc. Wow, yeah, this is one of the ones that showed some strength. I think Luna is the other one where it shows strength at that horizontal support level, a 20-week moving average. So we see the 20-week moving average holding nicely as support here. Having said that, I do get a sense, well, maybe it's triangulating. That's the thing, is it making a triangle? I mean, what's happening here? It could be making a more of a horizontal structure before going higher. But the bottom of the Bollinger Band is really calling it. It's been from bottom to top. It even pushed it higher, and now it's down back at the 20-week moving average. And as this Bollinger Band moves up, I think the price could come meet it and make its way. How much more negative momentum is necessary? One thing is certain. Well, divergences are not necessarily ready for us yet. But at some point it'll become more clear there. Yeah, it's like this is stalling action. This is not something new. We're stalling here. We're counter trend. Trend is down. We're counter trend. We're going to be moving down again. That's just the sense I'm getting. Could be wrong on that one, but I think it's just showing that Avalanche is one of the stronger ones. It did show good support here. Now this is against BTC, so who knows? Maybe it holds and does its next move. We'll see. This is quite an interesting price chart. And the other option, again, is a move down and then a bounce and then a move down. So that is the bearish view. The other view is to go up. Okay, fascinating indeed. That's the Avalanche on a weekly. On a monthly, what have we got? Not much data. Yeah, looks like it could chop down towards this levels here. Let's watch. Broke this downtrend. think that's it for Avalanche. Yeah. All right, next. For the MATIC price chart. A lot of negative price action towards the downside here, very strong. Then slowing momentum, but just made it below the 20-week moving average. And now, well, maybe this Ichimoku cloud will help. Maybe not though. Maybe it will find some, it will help. I think it will. I mean, we have all this price action here. It will help. There will be support here. There will be some level of support here. And we have the lower end of the Bollinger Band creeping up here. This region will be support. But what's going to happen? Are we going to go below it and then get rejected and keep going lower? Or is it going to find some sort of support and go higher and then find something there? The sense I'm getting is, yeah, this chart is probably going to see the price at least get down to these levels here, down to these levels, what, like 2,500 Satoshis and maybe even down to 2,000. But yeah, I mean, that's lower end of the Bollinger Band, 25, maybe, yeah, 3,000 is here. I mean, if you can hold 3,000, I'd say that's pretty good. And if you can hold higher than that, if you're holding here at this cloud level, I mean, that's tremendous, but I don't see enough strength up here to do that yet, because you are below the 20. Like if the 20-week was confluencing here and you're holding it all, but because you get below the 20-week, you'd have to get back above it pretty quickly. Otherwise, you're signaling that it's going to be a bit more bearish for a little while. This is a weekly price chart, remember. So number of weeks can be is months. Anyway, so we'll see. Maybe you get some hard move down and then you get your relief rally up here. And, you know, you can still claim 30, 40%. I don't know. That's against BTC. Remember, if BTC is going up 3x, then 40% against BTC is the 3x and 40% more of that. Like not plus 40%, like, oh, just do your own math. I don't really feel like it. It's just, it means more, more upside to your dollar value. Okay. And then if we are looking, did we look monthly? Yeah. 20-month moving average. I think that'll be the support level, 20-month. Now, where is it going to be when it comes to touch it? Probably at these levels here. That's the basic sense of getting. We'll see. Otherwise, it is a long way down to the next support levels. Yeah. So that's why I say this is most likely going to be the support level at the worst. And I mean, not like this is low. This is 2,000. Maybe you'll get wicks down here, and that would probably be wicks below the 20-month moving average, because at that point, this, you know, as the price comes down, this moving average will be moving up still sharply because of all this price action. Eventually, it'll also taper off, but moving up. So yeah, anyway, interesting. That's coming down. They're going to meet at some point, so watch for that. And that's why also timing, it helps, like looking at the monthly price chart, because then you look at the monthly, you're like, okay, it could be coming down at some point to touch this. So let's keep an eye on that. And then you look at the weekly, and on the weekly, it says, okay, well, the 20-month is around this level. The 20-week is here. We just broke it down. We're going to be moving somewhere between here and here. And then as the price is moving and you see what's happening, you can start to time and look at, get a feeling of things. Maybe set some, you know, you might already have some levels set and you can forget. And then once you look and you're like, oh, price is down here, let me see. And then you take a look and your levels are hit and whatever. That's how it goes when you are feeling good. All right, that's MATIC on a weekly. Okay, we have a few left. We're going to look at XTZ as well today to round it out. But first we have Luna and then Atom. And so let's go Luna. Luna probably, this along with DERO, stole the show the last couple weeks. All right, especially the last week. The week before that, it stole the show in the sense that it held the 20-week moving average. That was a big hold right there. First big hold was after the big dump. hold bounce. So it bounced. This is really the hold here. The week after that, the 7th of February week, big hold as it held that as support, and then it reclaimed the move. What a big move back up. So is Luna on for another move higher, or is this the beginning of the end? Is this the whole distribution event, and it's finding the liquidity and it will distribute and keep coming back down? And in that case, that's a little more bearish, because then it'll break this 20-week moving average and go lower. However, let's see. I will say we are potentially moving into some bullish momentum here. Like there's a very, so either this thing is going to get bearish very fast and it's just going to dump, okay, or this thing is crossing and it might not actually get higher than the previous one, okay. That's relatively likely, and in fact, you might get a low. This is actually what I think is probably going to happen, because that's a pretty strong bullish move. You're going to get some more positive momentum. Okay, we're out of this negative momentum. It goes blue, but it's not going to be bigger than this one, and you're going to get your bearish divergence. You're going to get your bearish divergence because on the price, the price will be going higher, because look how high you are. You are right at the top there. You're right at the top. So the price is going higher. And as the price goes higher, okay, it doesn't even have to go that much higher. And it makes a higher price than previously, okay? And it makes a lower high on these momentum indicators. You are looking at some very huge bearish divergence. And hey, that doesn't mean the price has to go all the way down to the low of the lows or something. The price might just meet here at this horizontal line, or you might even make it and hold the Ichimoku cloud level that builds, and the lower end of the Bollinger Band as it kind of comes up here. That's fine. That's totally possible. It just means that it'll be prolonged and it'll be choppy and sideways and take time. Okay, so that's pretty cool though, for Luna. So that's the sense I'm getting, is you might even breach the top of that top of the channel. Either way, I think you're going to see some high of highs, and then that's your chance to see what happens. How big is it going to go? In this sense, maybe up to this level here. So like maybe the 300,000 level. That's pretty solid. It's right now is at what, 200,000 almost, 190,000. So yeah, cool. So that's Luna. Okay, so that's the signals that we're getting here. There's a chance for us to go higher, but then that also is the beginning of the end in terms of the move up, at least for the intermediate time frame of a long time frame. So I don't mean the whole move up becomes corrected, maybe just the move up from here. Well, probably from here, move up from here or something like that. But no, this whole thing looks corrected. So this whole thing is probably a correction. So that might be what's happening here. It might be moving into its new phase of bullishness. In fact, this might be the end of the corrective move of the third. We might be in the fifth wave now, but that means it could be a pretty high wave. So watch out for Luna price chart. It's looking pretty good. I wouldn't short this one just yet. But then again, if it turns, like if you're watching the daily and you look at that, if it turns, it's going quite bearish, because then it's getting rejected at the highs after a push up off of the 20-week. Dump. Okay, so let's watch that Luna price chart. Very exciting. I'll keep an eye on it. Maybe come with some single Luna videos as the time price calls for it. Okay, and we have Atom price chart. Wow, 71,000 Satoshis. Holding above the 20-week moving average. Looks like it wants to hold above this Ichimoku cloud. My sense is maybe it's not going to touch this uptrending support line here until we're around the Ichimoku level. Well, even if it's around here, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I don't see why it doesn't just kind of hang around here and find its support levels and then go higher, stay above this Ichimoku cloud. I think it has the chance for that. Let's see though. Looking at these indicators, the only thing is this bearish divergence here and here I don't think it's quite played out fully, has it? Maybe this is all it needed for that bearish divergence. So ATOM is another one. It's holding above these previous price zone levels here, although it is below this deviation. So that is its own concern. It's getting rejected there, and it has had a few weeks in the green, or a couple weeks in the green already, and so we'll see what it looks like. I'm getting the sense maybe, yeah, you do turn over, and do you get your bounces here and go higher, or do you crumble at that point? That'll be interesting to watch. That's ATOM. So far it's one of the stronger ones for sure. Now here's the thing though, I don't really like this, not yet. I mean, it could keep pushing. This definitely could keep pushing. You know, you made a move from low to high of Bollinger Band. Okay, this is the monthly Bollinger Band, 20-month moving average in yellow. So low to high of Bollinger Band, you got below 20-month, shot above it, you pushed, but were rejected. Quickly back down, supported on the 20-month moving average, you pushed again. If you don't keep pushing here, you are coming back down here, and the more you come back down here, I mean, yeah, you might, you know what, on a monthly time frame, this might just be moving towards eventually a big move up, and in the meantime, you know, the Bollinger Band is squeezing or something like that. But either that has to happen, or rejection down to these levels, and it finds the bottom of the Bollinger Band, and then it gets another chance to go again eventually, which that's fine, that makes sense. You know, you come back down here and you do more accumulating. You know, overall you've got a nice accumulation range, and you go from there. Nothing wrong with that. So we'll see what happens with ATOM. This is a 20-month, sorry, 20-month, I keep saying 20. It's the monthly chart, and here's your weekly. So there you go, that's the ATOM price chart. All right, we'll keep an eye on that one too. And then on the final turn, we have here straight away now to the XTZ. All right. Wow, so here we have some nice support along this previous level of support. Looking for a turnaround here, narrowing of Bollinger Bands below the 20, so you got to get above it, and then the next target would be this Ichimoku cloud. On a weekly level though, that is a daunting, thick Ichimoku cloud. So maybe the price is only getting up to here, which is around like 13,000 level, which would be these previous levels here, which had a deviation. So maybe you get deviated into the cloud level, but rejected quickly. We'll see, but that's a thick cloud there waiting for the price. So I'm not sure what this is going to mean. What will it look like? The other option is to break below this supporting line, and then that's actually really dangerous, because this is a supporting trend line of like from the lows of the lows. So you make these lows, and well, this price data, this is from, I think, Binance. Yeah, this price data starts in the end of 2019. But anyway, important enough. You have all these lows And so if you can't hold this, then that's danger, because you're also at the lower end of the Bollinger Band. I mean, there is a long way to dump if you wanted to dump, but let's see, what does this mean? Let's just for fun, okay? Let's take a look. Let's say you dumped here, okay, and then you came here, okay. Wow, so it wouldn't go 1-to-1, but even a 61.8 would be at the wow, that would be like 4,700 Satoshi's level from where it is now. That's like another 50% down, and 78.6 is all the way down here. Now, am I saying that's where it's going? No, I'm saying that because the Bollinger Bands are so narrow, if it is continuing going down and it's not just going to get supported at this price level, we're seeing a big dump. So that's why I get the sense, you know, with all this negative momentum it having already played out, I get the sense that it will start clearing out and going towards positive momentum, okay, which means a move to the upside. And here again is like the June timeframe, June, July timeframe, whatever. So we'll see what's happening in these next 4 months or so. Okay. It would be nice if it could penetrate up to this level, 15. Now we go to the monthly. Yeah, this gives us the sense that there's a good chance that the price is ready to go back to the 20-month moving average. Now, will it get above it? That's tough. Like, based on that Ichimoku cloud for the weekly, it's like the price could hang around here for some time. Will it then dump further though and go towards the lower, like as the Bollinger Band starts coming up, will it go towards that the lower end of that Bollinger Band? Wow. On a monthly time frame, either that or this is a big long accumulation period, and then it will mark back up again. That's just how charts work. Either it's going to keep going down, or it's going to eventually go back up, or somehow it's just going to go sideways, and within the sideways it'll just go up and down to varying levels. Yeah, so that's interesting. There's a XTZ on the monthly. Okay, I think that's it for now. That was XTZ. That was basically all of the weekly roundup and monthly roundup. That was very fun, but that was extra long. So that's it for now. I'm done with that. We move back over. Oh, wow, BTC 39.6, ripping it. All right. I'll see you around the way. My name is Giuliano. I thank you for being here if you are still watching. And until next time, wishing you all the best. Love, peace, happiness. Goodbye.